Is the universe infinite? And is it cyclical? How does this idea affect our understanding of the Big Bang? So, the concept of an infinite universe has significant implications for our understanding of the Big Bang theory. Traditionally, the Big Bang theory describes the universe as originating from an infinitely hot and dense point which expanded to form the universe as we know it today. However, the notion of an infinite universe challenges and refines this understanding in several ways. So, first of all, let's look at the compatibility of an infinite universe with the Big Bang. If the universe is infinite, it might have been infinite from the very beginning. This means that at the moment of the Big Bang, the universe could have already been infinite in spatial extent, but extremely dense. The expansion that followed would then be a process of the universe becoming less dense over time rather than expanding from a finite point into infinity. Furthermore, the Big Bang is not an explosion. So even though we say Big Bang, it was neither big nor did it bang. It was neither big nor did it bang. So it's not an explosion from a single point in space, but rather an expansion that occurred everywhere simultaneously. This means that space itself was expanding, and if the universe is infinite, it expanded from an infinite state to another infinite state. And now there are many models that propose that the universe undergoes cycles of expansion and contraction, which could imply an infinite temporal existence. This cyclical model suggests that the universe might not have a singular beginning or end, but instead experiences infinite cycles of big bangs or so-called big bangs, and then so-called big crunches. The theory of cosmic inflation, which posits a rapid expansion of the universe shortly after the Big Bang, supports the idea that the universe could be much larger than the observable part, potentially infinite. This inflationary period could have set the stage for an infinite universe expanding from an already infinite state. Okay, so all this is great, but let's see if this actually could suggest that death and reincarnation occur at every level. You know, in our biology, there's a term called apoptosis, programmed cellular death. So cells die periodically, so new cells can reincarnate, recycle, perform the same functions, and also evolve. But what about cosmic cycles? The cyclical universe theory posits that the universe undergoes infinite cycles of birth and death and rebirth. Each cycle begins with a so-called Big Bang, which I mentioned is neither big nor does it bang, but eventually the universe contracts in a big crunch, leading to another so-called Big Bang. This process implies that the universe is in a constant state of renewal akin to cosmic reincarnation. So, in this framework, the universe is reborn from the remnants of the previous state, just like you and I are reborn from the memory of the previous state, or what is called sanskara. The collapse of a universe, Big Crunch, provides the conditions for a new universe to emerge. So Big Crunch, death leads to reincarnation, Big Bang. The cycle of death and rebirth is similar to the concept of samsara, which involves continuous cycles of birth, death, and rebirth. So what do you think, my friends? Does the universe reincarnate? Do cells reincarnate? Do you and I reincarnate? More and more, if we believe in a consciousness-based ontology, if we think of consciousness as the ontological primitive, then that consciousness, which is non-local, suggests that particles can be interconnected across vast distances, influencing each other instantaneously. And this suggests that consciousness may be guiding the cyclical universe. The cyclic universe theory, which suggests that the universe undergoes endless cycles of creation and destruction, aligns with consciousness guiding these cycles. And if consciousness is indeed non-local and fundamental, it could permeate all levels of existence, from the smallest particles to the entire cosmos. In a cyclical universe, consciousness might persist, not might, does persist through each cycle, influencing and being influenced by the universe's transformations. This could imply that consciousness is a constant and unifying element across the cycles of the universe, from microcosm to macrocosm. I find this very interesting. I hope you do as well. Otherwise, in any case, thank you for indulging me. And do know that digital Dharma is available, a user's manual for elevating, for seeing how AI can elevate spiritual intelligence and personal well-being. And you can also converse with me in English, Spanish, Arabic, or Hindi by checking out digitaldeepak.ai. Thanks again.